let's go ahead and talk about the crimes of extortion and treason.
So, extortion, and I would add into that fraud. You have this public school establishment that is promising us that they are going to educate our children. All we have to do is give them, huge amounts of money every year for them to do that.
Hmm.
Now, think about that in any other context. Okay, any other context. Think of a guy who opens up a burger shop and he says, "Hey, come to my burger shop and I'm going to sell you burgers. You just give me money and I'm going to give you a delicious burger." And you come in and you give him money and you get a burger and you take a bite and it's a big, giant, nasty, rotten, smelly rat in there. Would you say, "Oh man, that sucks. I guess I'll give you more money"? Right? Of course you would, right? You'd take the guy to court. You'd sue him for fraud. You'd contact the local district attorney and you'd say, "Hey, this guy said he was going to give me a hamburger. Instead, he gave me a giant, smelly, dead, rotten rat." Right? That's exactly what's happening with the public school system. They're saying, "Give us your children, give us a bunch of money. And by the way, if you don't give us your money, we're going to take your house. And if you won't give us your house, we're going to point a gun at you and put you in a cage. And if you won't go into the cage, we will kill you." Okay, that's ultimately what's at the core of the financing of the government school system. And then instead of actually giving us back educated children in exchange for giving them our children and our money, they give us back dumbed down, handicapped, anti-American, anti-family, anti-God little monsters that want to go out and burn down our society and kill old people and take over the government, have a revolution and get rid of all the. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. And yet that is what is happening. It should be considered a crime. I would argue that the people who are responsible for this system should be prosecuted. This is fraud.
Absolutely.
This is extra. And the worst part is when people say, "Hey, the kids are getting, or they're all dumb. They're all dumb as a box of rocks. What have you done here?" They say, "Oh, it's just because we need more money. Just give us more money."
It's always more money.
It's always more money.
It's really interesting is that they never say, once we have achieved X amount of financing, then we will produce Y results. It's never a very specific estimation. It's just, oh, more. And then when they get more, it just wasn't enough. And again, on the note of fraud, have you had the opportunity to read blanking on it, The Case Against Education by Brian Kaplan?
I have not, but I've heard of it.
Okay, I got it right here. It's a fantastic book. Actually wrote a study guide to it. You can find it on the linked in the Wikipedia article. But in there, he gives a very solid understanding and picture of how dumbed down people truly are. And if you look at any of the subjects, people know nothing. Foreign languages, if you're fluent in a foreign language, you almost certainly learned it at home, and you almost certainly absolutely did not learn it in school. People don't know basic science. People don't know, and I can't remember exactly all the numbers, but a lot of people don't know that an electron is smaller than the atom. About only 54% of Americans know that the Earth goes around the sun. So that's absolutely mind-boggling. You look at history, only 50% of people know the 3 branches of government, and on and on and on. You look at any of the subjects the school teach, and he makes this point. So if you know half the letters of the alphabet, are you half literate or are you illiterate?
It's a very good point.
You're illiterate, which means if people don't even know half the basic facts of any subject, they don't even understand the foundation of it. That means they're completely and wholly ignorant of the subject in its totality, in its context. Long story short, people don't know history. They don't know science. After, they don't know reading. After 13 years, thousands of dollars. And like you said, we got a big dead rat. And another thing, that makes me, pretty furious is how unaccountable they're held, because they're untouchable. You even look at, I'm trying to remember which book I read it in, but even some of the people in the Vietnam War, they were able to sue the manufacturers of Agent Orange. And it was the government that decided to employ that, but they were able to sue the manufacturers in U.S. court and win that legal case. They were able to do that, but you can't, if you get your child out of the school system, they can't read, they don't know anything. You can't sue the school, you can't sue a teacher, you can't sue the school board, you can't sue anybody. They'll just say, "Oh, tough luck, more money."
That's exactly right. And that is the definition of extortion. It's like the mafia, right? Hey, give us $1,000 or we're going to break your knees. And if you do give us $1,000, we'll protect you. It's exactly what the school system is doing. Give us your children, give us more money. We've got your children. Now give us more money or we're going to break your children. Okay, now give us more money or we're going to break your children more. Right? It is absolute extortion.